studied music, you studied political science, you studied law, you studied agriculture, and you're coming to nursing just like that.
Yeah,
Please
the gap is
explain
just
yourself.
the 20 hours you work as a student. Do you think that helps? So wait, cybersecurity wasn't difficult compared to nursing, mental health nursing. And what would you advise someone that wants to switch from something totally different into nursing, just like you've done? The 2-year master course, would you get your license to practice in the UK? Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back again to my channel. It's Dale here and I am your captain. Today we have an amazing guest with us, and from the title you already know what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about masters in nursing, studying nursing here in the UK. In fact, this is like if you do not have any medical background or you're not a registered nurse, this video is for you because you're going to get information on how to get your master's in nursing and eventually practice here in the UK as a registered nurse. So if this looks like something you would love, of course, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and then let's get started. So I'll let my guest introduce herself. Okay, she's smiling. So over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Pretty Pin. You can call me Justina, and I am a student nurse in the UK. I am currently in my final year, and I'm doing mental health nursing, and it's just for 2 years.
And you also have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I do. Oh God, thank you, Nozio, for giving me the opportunity. You guys can go and check me out, Pretty Pin. Subscribe to my channel. I do lots of video about life in the UK, nursing, and Nozio is practically trying to help me dive my way into traveling content. But
please come and join us.
I'm serious, but because of the nursing, I really do not like have that time now because I'll tell you guys about it later.
Okay, hopefully you join us soon. Okay, so let's start. How did you get into nursing from Nigeria? What's your background like? Tell us how you got it started.
Okay, I'll start by saying when I came to the UK, I didn't come into the UK to study nursing at first, but I'll try to give you I'll try to give everybody a quick summary of my background. I studied political science from Godfrey Okoye University in Nigeria. It's a private university in Enugu and it's a Catholic university. So when I finished, I went to Abuja to do my NYSC, and I came to the UK to study cybersecurity masters.
But that's actually a good course.
Yes. So I did cybersecurity for 2 years and I graduated. But before then, I started asking myself, are you sure you don't want to do nursing? But let me tell you guys the truth. There's something Nozio said one day. I saw on your post. You said, if you know you are not caring and compassionate, don't go for nursing. Like, don't try it. Because seriously, at some point I was struggling with it. It's not because I'm not caring, but when I was working in the hospital at first, many patients would ask me, are you a student nurse? I'm like, no, hell be. Because I don't even see myself even being a nurse. Like, finding it difficult, like, I can't be a nurse. It's not even possible. And my uncle is a mental health nurse for 25 years here in the UK. So every time he will be like, are you sure you don't want to consider going for your nursing program? I'm like, no, that I don't even have it in mind. But with time, I started noticing that, are you sure this is not my calling? Are you sure? You know? And I don't want to share this particular story, but I just want to share it because I wanted to let people know that sometimes you don't need to be scared that, oh, are you sure I'm doing the right thing? Do you understand? I finished uni when I was 19, 20. So I'm 25 and this is like my 3rd degree. And, I'm still figuring out life. So to me, I remember one time my mom had a prophecy that somebody in our house is into medical field. And all of us are art students and it doesn't make sense to us. So even when she said it, me and my dad was like, oh no, it can't be her, we know. So at this point, do you understand? At this point, I started telling myself, are you sure this is not my calling? Maybe I should just, try it. And then I started making inquiries. I had everything on my table because I'm already in the UK. So I started working in general hospital. I started working in mental health hospital. So I had experience and I started loving it. I was like, oh, maybe I should give it a try. I spoke to my dad. I said, look at, are you sure? My dad was like, yeah, if you want it, go for it. Like, because I was looking at so many things. I was looking at the fact that I have to pay because the schools I was seeing then, their tuition fee were about £28,000 per year.
Really? I thought it was like
Yes.
16K.
So it was, I was still trying to understand. Are you sure you want to pay 50 something thousand for 2 years? Do you understand that kind of thing? Looking back, where we're coming from, you will use it to go and buy one house in Lekki. So
And then you remain safe.
do you understand? So anytime I tell my friends, they'll be like, no, don't try that. Don't try that. And then something just told me, just go for it if you really love what you do. And I just decided to go for it. I applied. It wasn't easy for me. If you check my YouTube channel, guys, you will see a lot of things. Like I'm really not the kind of person that reply a lot, but I've been able to help students navigate. I have a Telegram group, and the students will tell you that it's not been easy because most times, once they apply the first time and they failed, they'll just, they'll lose. So, and I'll tell them, I applied to 6 schools and I didn't get anyone. That's how bad it was. I applied to 6 schools. I was even asking myself, are you sure you're even doing the right thing? So in case you're out there, I know somebody is out there watching this video and you're struggling to get into this program. Don't worry. Keep trying. Schools in London most of them don't take international students except Hertfordshire. And Hertfordshire is outside London. And then Kingston are very, like, they just take little. In my class, I'm just the only one and one other girl.
Is it only for the masters in nursing you're talking about?
Yes, for
that
the
they don't
masters
take international students.
Yes, they are very, very, like, they prefer taking home students than international students because they feel like home students is easy for them to, get the experience. Some of them already have MVQ and the rest. So they hardly take international students. But if an international student, you can do it. You don't have, you have only one head like them. So you can do it. Apply and keep applying. So my story is that I moved from political science to cybersecurity and now I'm doing nursing, and it's been a good journey. I won't lie. It's not been easy. It's not been easy. Yeah.
So you were already in the UK before you got the masters in nursing. Do you have a British citizen or you are still an international student?
I am still like a serious international student.
Okay. So what were the requirements? What did they require you to have before they could give you the admission?
I think it varies on schools, but I'll give like the general requirement that you really need. One is that you must really have a degree.
Any degree whatsoever.
Degree,
even if
whether
it's agriculture,
animal husbandry, horticulture,
as long as it's a BSc.
It's good.
One question: would they take HND or just BSc?
For the masters, no. I just did a video. My last video recently is for HND and OND students, or those who have HND and OND degree and want to study nursing. Theirs is a different, route.
So let's not go into that one. Let's leave them to go to your channel to check it. Let's focus on the BSc so that it's not too ambiguous. So yeah. So you need a BSc in any field.
In any field.
What else?
One thing they should also know is that some uni will be like, they want you to have first class or second class lower. But trust me, no uni is asking you for first class. It's just for a second class upper or second class lower. Some don't care. Next thing is working experience. Working experience, I mean, they don't expect you to start working in the hospital in Nigeria. Just according to the people that I have, I've helped, I'll tell them, just go to any facility, any hospital, any clinic, Red Cross, just volunteer. Just have that basic experience. They just want you to know little thing. It's to me, some people will be like, oh, I can't work for free. But you need to sacrifice something to get something. That's
Exactly.
just the truth. Lowest is 450 hours working experience. And the highest I've seen is like 950. So it depends on the schools. My school told me 650.
What's the
And
name
I
of your
gave
school, if you don't mind?
Staffordshire University.
Okay.
But they only take students that are already in the UK.
Okay,
They
okay.
don't take students outside the UK. So, but before the video ends, I'll be doing this particular one just for Nosdio. I'll be giving you few schools that are really cheap.
Guys, make sure you hit the like button for
Their
this.
tuition fee is even much. It's 19,000.
Please, how are you able to afford this? Because I want to know.
Nosdio, the way they used to ask you, how do you afford those traveling?
Avio, it's priority, ba. School is your priority. Hey, 19K.
Imagine 19K, you have to pay it
Wow.
for 2 years.
So that is 19 is like 38.
38 for the 2 years. And then another thing again they are going to be checking is your IELT. Some schools, your English requirements, some schools will require you to have IELT. Why some schools don't? As long as you have your WAEC. For Nigerians, I don't know, some West African countries, I don't know why they take WAEC, but if you do take WAEC, some schools will not really mind. They will just accept. And I'll give you one school, Hertfordshire. Don't mind. As long as you have a good WAEC result, like your English result is on point, they're going to take you. But most schools will require you to have 7.0 in everything. And 7. I'm serious. I'm serious. And it's not, many people are battling with that thing. Like,
of course,
it's no joke. If you're already in the UK, don't worry, don't even stress yourself. You don't need IELT. All you need is your degree certificate. As long as you studied in the UK, you're good to go.
The English test, if required, the 450 hours. What else do you need? The BSc.
The BSc.
What else? You've called 3 now.
That's the most important.
Those are the most advanced. Okay. So all you then have to do is when you get this school, you just make your application. Do you need to provide statement of purpose? What other things do you need to provide?
You need to do personal statements. Yeah. And your personal statements, I would say, it should not be the regular personal statements, See, I don't know, guys, but let me tell you something from my heart. I don't know how to explain this thing to you guys, but please don't just pick up any personal statements online and restructure. Okay. Like, one thing I understand is that I don't want to say they like hearing lies, but what I used to tell everybody is that let you be the center of your personal statements. Tell your story. As Nosdio said, sell yourself. And as you're selling yourself, tell your story. Let there be something that must have led you to study nursing. Don't just come and say you are compassionate, you are care. Everybody is compassionate. That's what I used to tell people in my what they call that thing, Telegram. Everybody is compassionate. I can come out and tell you I'm compassionate. You will not kill me now. You will agree. I'm caring. I am this, I am that, I'm committed. They want to see how you've done those things. Like, what's the reason why? Like, and listen, I don't know how to. You studied music, you studied political science, you studied law, you studied agriculture, and you're coming to nursing just like that.
Yeah,
please
the gap
explain yourself. Why? It's very important. And in nursing, there's 3 steps. 1, by the time you have your BSc, you have your personal you have your BSc, you have your English requirements, and you submit your application. That's 1 step. The next step is those things you submit. When they review it, will you get to the next stage? And what will make them take you to the next stage is your personal statement. You might have everything. Your personal statement is nonsense. They won't take it to the next stage. It's unlike other courses that they're just accepting anybody. Everybody's just jackpying anyhow. But in this one, they are not just taking anybody just like that. They are very, very careful. If it's
Yeah.
BSc, they feel like you're brand new. But as
Yeah.
master student, they feel like you're adult. Like it's an adult class. Even in the class, they'll even be saying that it's an adult class. At uni, I applied for adult and mental health, and I was asked to pick one. That they can't give me both of them at the same time. Looking to know you guys need to be careful when picking specialty.
Of course. I always say that too. Be careful. If not, barbed wire.
You need to be careful. So let me use adult nursing for example. If I was asked in my personal statement to write things, I'll give my background first, where I studied, what led me to, what I achieved all those time I was studying, because they want to see the gap you have in education. What were you doing? Were you working? So you need to establish that fact that you were not just sitting at home doing nothing. You were doing something. And if you want to sell yourself why you decide to study adult nursing, you might as well just talk about maybe your dad is suffering from diabetic, or he's having liver issue, and you could talk them through that process, how it affected your life and how you want to make changes. Like, you didn't have the whole experience you need because you're not an healthcare professional and all that. So it will make you stand out because you want to make a difference. Because even in your interview, they will ask you this same thing. So try as much as possible to look for something to sell yourself out. Stage again is the RPL document. RPL is recognition of prior learning. That is
Okay.
where most students again still have issues, because one is getting the interview and then moving to RPL, and once you get to RPL, you can just lose the admission if you're not able
Wow.
to fill the RPL. So RPL contains all the RPL contains the 7 platform of NMC. So in the platform, you have to fill the platform and show how you have meet up to all these proficiencies, because even as a registered nurse, they all worked in accordance to the NMC 7 platform, which is providing and evaluating care, preventing ill health, and they are 7. So you need to, they'll ask you to fill those things. It's like a big bunch of books that you have to give scenario, explain yourself and all that. Some schools will add it, while some schools will expect you to do like anatomy. I saw one there. I was thinking maybe they were in secondary school. I was shocked. That woman gave me tough time in her RPL. She dragged the hell out of my life. She was disturbing, but she got the admission. She's studying now. I think she's almost finishing her first year. So the RPL, take it serious. I know it's not easy. That's another place I always have problem with students, because they will keep asking, how am I going to do the RPL? How am I going to do the RPL? And I'll still say it, in your RPL, give example of something that you've done. That's the only way you can skate through these things. Don't go to internet and browse how to provide health, and they will not give you the definition. You will not copy it and put there. Don't do that. If you ask me how I've been able to evaluate care, I'll tell you story how I came on a ward and I saw a patient. Maybe the patient had a fall, and nobody even knew the patient had a fall, and I had to press my buzzer and gather everybody there. Start by checking the patient's vital sign, checking the patient's sugar level, because the patient is already in the floor. You can't immediately, the nurse will call the doctor. If the vital signs are okay, we'll be able to carry and take the patient out of the floor. We'll have to check, does the patient need like the hoist and all that. All those processes, I am evaluating the patient's care. Anybody could ignore the care. After all those things, were you able to go back to see the patient's improvement? Were you able to? These things are real life story. You're not just fabricating it. They've seen that you've been able to. Do you understand? You've passed through those things. So give those kind of scenario, and don't in the same platform, don't always give the same example. Change it. Maybe,
Yeah.
for example, you're working in a cardiology ward. Next example, work in A&E. Next
Yeah.
example,
Variety.
just push it. Let it be like you're versatile. You've touched different places. And
Yeah.
trust me, you will get that this time. Once you fill your RPL form, and I thought I would assist you to fill your RPL form. I'm not going to give you all my time because I don't even have the time. That's the problem I always have with them. Like, basically, I don't used to have all the time. I find it difficult to even do YouTube with uni. I find it very difficult.
It's
So
not easy.
it's not easy. I would assist you, go through it, read it with you, tell you where you're supposed to make changes. But
Yeah.
you see that one that I will want me to write it for you, I don't have that strength. So, but I will help you go through everything and you will get it. And once you get it, yeah, congratulations. And we'll be happy because you become a nurse soon. And yeah, you become like Nurse Dio.
Ah. After the 2-year master course, would you get your license to practice in the UK?
Yes, you would get your license as a band 5
Okay.
registered nurse. But one thing is that everybody knows, some people will be saying, can I work in US? I feel you cannot work in the US. Just your bomb in the UK. But
No, but you can go to Australia
of course, 100%, you can go to
because
Australia, you can go to New
Australia has
Zealand.
like this as well. You can do
Yeah,
a master's in nursing if you don't have any background in Australia, so it's transferable. Most work or job or studying you do in the UK, they will always recognize it in Australia. So that's one good thing. You can work in New Zealand as
New
well.
Zealand. You can
New
work in
Zealand,
Canada, but not all
mm-mm.
this thing, what do they call it? Not
Not
all
all province.
province. Yes, because in our elective, we're allowed to go to Canada to do our elective if we want.
It's different from UK curriculum. Like in Nigeria, when you want to become a nurse, you do all the whole system. You do all the whole specialty as a whole. Then you can then specialize after you become a registered nurse. But here
Yeah.
in the UK, you start specializing from beginning. You go straight to mental health, or you go straight to pediatric, or you go straight to adult, or you go straight to midwifery. It's just different. But for us, if you are doing from when I studied in Nigeria, I had idea on all specialty. Like the whole 3 years was all nursing, midwifery, psychiatry. We even had 2 months posting in psychiatry. We did all of those things. Then after you get your license, you can then go and specialize for either 1 year or 2 years in either mental health, midwifery, or any of them. So that's why the curriculum is very, very different. So I don't blame them at all, because if you take a UK nurse to the US that have not practiced, that studied here, they will not even understand most things that is going on. So yeah, that's understandable. What are the challenges you faced as someone that is coming from political science to mental health nursing? What are challenges you face as an international student as well? Can you just briefly tell us so that people that are coming in will have this in mind, or that it's not all rosy? These are the things I've faced.
One of the challenges I think I face as an international student is that you have to do everything yourself. I
Okay.
mean, financially, it's not easy. Unlike the home student that they get the loans, they get
Yeah.
the bursary. Even when they go on placement, they still calculate the meters and still pay them. So it's, to me, on my end, when I see those things happening, I get very pissed off. Like, I'll be like, I don't expect you to pay my school fees, but at least I'm going for placement. Can you just give me the transport? Like, something like that is a bit frustrating. Not because I can't afford it, but I just feel like, why can't I just get it? It's not that bad. So, and I might be able to afford it, but somebody else coming might not be able to afford it.
The 20 hours you work as a student, do you think that helps, or do you think that can, some people come to my inbox and be like, oh Dale, do you think when I come to the UK and I'm working 20 hours, I'll be able to pay for my tuition fee? Do you think that is possible? Because I don't know.
Don't let anybody deceive you. It's not possible.
What if
You
you live in cheap area, like you live in the north where it's very cheap.
It's not about cheap area. Forget about where you're living. We're talking about school fees first.
Okay.
Don't the truth is that in another course they can tell you pay 3,000, you can come and work, and those ones are easier. But when it comes to nursing, I used to tell people, if you want to do the 2 years nursing, make sure you have your first year school fees first.
At least, yeah.
Have your first year. Let you know that you have 2 years to run around for your second year. Make sure you have your first. It's very important. If not, you will just leave the course. Like, not only you get frustrated, you will definitely leave the course, because how do you want to start? In a year, I only have 6 weeks holiday. So how do you want to do it?
No matter where you work that 6 weeks as a student, how would you get even half?
So make sure you have like everything like your 1 year complete. So that's one of the challenges. And I think another one is the coursework. It was new to me. Like in nursing, we do lots of assessment, reflection, like lots of reflection. And in the beginning, it wasn't funny, because I was asking myself, like, I reflect every day. Why should I come and be writing what I'm reflecting again? Like, but it's not funny, but that's how I was feeling. And I found like it wasn't easy for me at first, but with time, you just get used to it. And just know that you're not going to be marked as a BSc student. You're going to be marked as an MSc student. And that's where the problem is. That's where people have issues. Because if you check people that have done the masters, they'll tell you how difficult it can be. Not because it's difficult, but because they're trying to compress 3 years course in 2 years, and they're also marking you as a master's student. So they're marking you as a level 7 student. So as a BSc student, you're allowed to be descriptive. Tell your story. I walked into a ward and the patient fell down, blah, blah, blah. They'll mark you, you get A. But as a master's student, if you say those things, you might end up even getting 35. So they want you to criticize. They want you to, don't tell them what happened. In as much as you're telling them what happened, try to give evidence base to back up what you're saying. And it's really, really challenging, because I've done a master's course before, and I'll tell you, there's no course that have made me study like this.
So wait, cybersecurity wasn't difficult compared to nursing, mental health nursing?
Cybersecurity was difficult, but I don't know how to put it. In cybersecurity, you have time, you have holidays, you prep yourself, you do lots of reading, research, you keep yourself intact. Do you understand what I mean? At some point, we had like 2 months holiday. You just have that time to yourself to do, additional program you want to do to get the basic needs and support and knowledge you want. But in nursing, it's like everything is rushing too fast.
So many things to do at the same time.
Like, I can't even believe that in few months I am done.
Do you think so far it's been worth the switch? Do you think it's worth the switch? And what would you advise someone that wants to switch from something totally different into nursing, just like you've done? Do you think it's worth it? I know you're not done yet, but so far you can look at the future already.
Whether it's worth it, I think yes.
Oh, good. At least that's the most important thing.
On my side, because I would say personal growth. There are a lot of things that nursing has taught me, apart from the whole clinical side and everything. It changed some part of my personality, not like change, but I can be able to like adapt to people. I've learned a lot, and I would say if you really want to go on this journey,
go for
it. Do it. If you want to do it. It might be difficult. It might be challenging. I will not lie. I have days that I would cry. I would even tell my dad and my mom that I'm tired. and they'll be like, you started, just keep pushing. Some days you will not want to go for placement. Some days you'll be like, you can't do it. Especially, and let me tell you guys something. One, you're a master student. Some people will see you as a threat. They might not tell you physically, but they will see you as a threat once you walk in with your uniform and they know you're a master student. They will see you as a threat because most of them just have BSc. And they would want to project all their insecurity on you, forgetting the fact that you came from a place of no background. You don't have nothing background. So they'll project their insecurity on you to make you feel bad or to make you feel like you don't know anything. But just pull yourself together and just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Why did you put the light at the end of the tunnel?
Because there is always light there. I'm very sure that there will be if you just brace yourself together. Because it's not. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not as easy as, it's very easy for people to say, oh, just come to the UK, you come and do nothing, you come and, it's so quick, it's easy to say it. And when people come, they start breaking down, they start crying to you, they start complaining. I know someone told me, you didn't tell me exactly how it is.
Exactly. And I also tell people, whenever I advise you, please do your own research as well. Because how you manage the situation and how I'll manage it will be different. And besides, you cannot control how things will go for other people. So when people come to you and don't find it as easy as you told them, or as easy as they see you, they'll be like, oh, but you told me that this is how it's gonna be, or this is not what you told me, this is not how I planned it. But life happens and people just should understand that it's not gonna be. My God, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for all the tips you've given. I'm sure a lot of people find this very useful, and they can always reach out to you via YouTube or your Instagram. I'm going to leave all the link in the description box so that they can also reach you. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.